Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to have all of us here again today on our weekly Safeoclock Health and Safety Interactive Workshop. So it's my pleasure to welcome us again. And as our culture has been, we'll start with brief presentation. After the brief presentation, then we open the floor for others to share their knowledge and experience on the topic of discussion for today. So today's discussion, we are looking at World Drowning Prevention Day. Actually, the main celebration is tomorrow, the 25th, but because our workshop is holding today, so we have to use it as our topic of discussion today, because it's also an emerging topic in health and safety. Most times it's often neglected in our workplaces, but due to the incident is not rampant, it's not something that happens every time, and most of the workplaces are not related to water and water bodies. But this is an emerging topic that World Health Organization has taken up, and ILO has also taken it up. So we need to be aware of what is happening around us. So that is why we are discussing the topic today. And tomorrow, do well also to join ILO discussion in their website by tomorrow. They will be discussing on this topic and looking at how the world is faring and the progress made in prevention of drowning all over the world. So that is what we are discussing today. After this brief presentation, I expect us to share our knowledge and experience. Those who have worked with the sea for a long time, the experiences you've had, I expect that you will share with us for others to learn as well. World Drowning Prevention Day is celebrated on 25th of July every year. So this is officially recognized from April 28, 2021, that the General Assembly of the United Nations, they designated this particular day as World Drowning Prevention Day. So it's observed every July 25th every year. And the purpose is to share wide awareness to ensure that we educate people and people are aware of the dangers associated with exposure to water and reduce drowning incidents all over the world. So that is why this day has been marked for us to share the awareness, educate people, and educate ourselves on the dangers of exposure to water, even flooding, not just water bodies. Flooding also can cause drowning. Walking in confined spaces where there is pool of water can also cause drowning. So we should take this as serious as the world is taking it as well. So the theme for this year, 2025, is anyone can drown and no one should. This simply reminds us that drowning is not just for a certain group of people or for a certain caliber of people or for people who are not strong or people who are that. Drowning, anybody can drown because the water is one of the most strongest elements that is very difficult to overpower it. So anyone can drown. And because anyone can drown, from our awareness, from our interventions, no one should drown. So that is the theme for this year, 2025. According to World Health Organization. So let's look at where we are in the world as regards to drowning incidents. So according to World Health Organization, 236,000 people drown each year all over the world. 236,000 people drown each year all over the world. So this is the latest statistics. And what does it tell us? It shows that there are drowning incidents going on almost every second all over the world. So what is our call to action? Our call to action is to help propagate this message. Preach it as much as we can, educate people as much as we can, train people as much as we can, and train ourselves as well. Train our children, train our families on the dangers of drowning and how possible prevention is possible. Then, who are the most impacted set of people? Children between 1 to 4 years are highest at risk. Then the low middle income countries has also been taking 90% of these statistics. Now, beyond fatalities, if the people didn't die during drowning incidents, the people are exposed to long-term and lifelong injuries that they cannot recover. They can't live healthy again due to drowning incidents. So that is why it's a serious issue that we should take seriously. If the person didn't die in that drowning incident, he will be exposed to a lot of long-term illness that he might not survive, or he will become a burden to family members and friends because of drowning incident. So from the statistics of World Health Organization, it said that since 2020, since 2000, that the number of drowning incidents has reduced by 38%. But even though it has reduced by 38%, we are still having 236,000 people die each year due to drowning incidents. So this number is high and is alarming. So that is why we are paying attention to it and we are engaging in this discussion today. So who is at the risk of drowning incidents? The children under the age of 5, when they go to waters without adequate supervision. It's not just in the river or in the swimming pool, but in the baths, in the buckets, bath tubes that contain large volume of water. So the children can drown, even in bucket. If a child puts his head there and is not rescued on time, he can drown, and that is also part of the drown. So children under 5 years who are not supervised, they are majorly at risk of drowning. Then adolescents who want to explore, adolescents who have high risk taking behaviors. They want to try swimming pools, they want to try at deeper areas. So these people are also at high risk of drowning incidents. Adults as well, adults who engage in recreational activities like swimming, fishing, boat rides. So these adults are also at risk of drowning. Then those who work near waters, those who work in the sea, marine industries, so these people are also at the risk of drowning. Then impaired people, people who have been impaired due to drugs or due to alcohol, these people are also at risk of drowning. Individuals with medical conditions are also at risk of drowning. The migrants and refugees, you see people crossing large rivers to cross over to other countries. So these people are also at risk of drowning. So these are the most vulnerable group of people who are at risk of drowning. So in workplaces, there are also flooding risk, and there are also risk of drowning in our workplaces. In the natural bodies, those who work in marine environments, they are mostly at risk of drowning incidents with natural bodies. Then artificial bodies, like the ponds, reservoirs, even drainage, or even the water tanks in our workplaces. These are also areas where people can get drowned. Then flooding incident in the workplace also, flood can happen and people can get drowned. Vehicle-related incident with a flood on the ways, on the walkways, if after the rain, everywhere will get flooded, and vehicles entering those places can be at risk of injuries. The drivers can be at risk of injuries and other related incidents. So what are the core drown prevention strategies that everyone should be aware of and we should be implementing even in our homes and in our workplaces? One of it is that there should be adequate supervision. The children, the young adolescents should be properly supervised. Even adults engaging in recreational activities should be adequately supervised by professionals. The coast guards or lifeguards, they should provide adequate supervision for people engaging in recreational activities. Barriers. The swimming pools should be provided with adequate barriers to prevent unauthorized people from accessing those the water bodies or the swimming pools. Then the children, everyone should learn water safety and swimming skills. Swimming skills is not just for pleasure, it's not just for recreational activities, but is a skill that can save anyone at any time. So it's encouraged that everyone should learn swimming skills. Learn a bit of it. At least you can learn how to keep your head high in the water and float using floating devices. So swimming skills is one of the life-saving skills that everyone should have. So we should encourage our workers and people should learn swimming skill through professionals, not just going into the ponds and start learning to swim. No, learn swimming skills through professionals, especially for people working in marine or riverine environment. Wear life jackets. Whenever you are entering water bodies, wear life jackets. No matter how small that swimming pool is, no matter how small that pond look like, wear life jackets while crossing it. This is one of the habits or one of the characters that are lacking in most undeveloped countries, that people cross rivers, cross a large water bodies without using life jackets. Then another core prevention strategy is everyone should learn rescue skills and CPR. Because if somebody gets drowned and he was immediately rescued, there's high chances of the person surviving. And the person's survival depends on other measures that will be put in place, such as giving adequate and appropriate CPR. So everyone in the workplace should learn how to give safe CPR, not the type that will help to kill the person, but CPR that will be safe and will be efficient to rescue the person. Then in the workplace, in the home, we should ensure that we manage flood risk, be prepared for the flooding, design the workplace in a way that it will not get flooded. Some areas should be adequately sloped so that the water will easily flow into the water conservation areas. So in workplaces, how do we prevent drowning incidents? In our workplaces, first, we should remove people walking near water, except in where it's not possible. Okay, if it's possible to walk outside the water areas, then people should walk outside the water areas. Then the next thing to do is to conduct an adequate and appropriate risk assessment by professionals, identify all the risks associated with that activity, especially when going near the water is involved. So identify all the work-related hazards and ensure that adequate control measures are in place. Develop a safe system of work, ensuring that there is edge protection, preventing people from falling into the water bodies, ensure that there is safety boats, there is exclusion zones, and only authorized people are allowed to work in those areas. Then provide life jackets for people who must go to water bodies or who must go to the river or in the pools. We should ensure that we have adequate life jackets available and should be used. The life jacket must be safe, must be inspected, and should be used while going into the pools. Then we should have rescue equipment available. We should have trained people who are trained to rescue, people who are professionals in the rescue, not just people who are training. We should also have all the rescue equipment, rescue pools very much available while those activities are ongoing. We should have adequate emergency procedure, written, communicated to the workers, the actions to take in event of emergency, and how to engage in rescue in drowning incidents. If there is water in the confined space, or if that confined space is suspected to have water, then we should adhere to confined space entering procedures and ensure that there is sufficient atmospheric monitoring, there is ventilation, there is dewatering ongoing. All the workers going inside those confined space must be trained, and there should be adequate rescue plan and rescue preparations available before any activity will go on in the confined space, especially where there is drowning risk. So to prevent flood in the workplace, these are some of the measures we should have in place. First, we can have flood planning. We should identify areas that are prone to flood, should identify areas where floods can happen, and develop an emergency plan for those specific areas. Install barriers, install sandbags or temporary walls that will prevent those water from crossing over. Then elevate critical equipment, those equipment that are on the floor, elevate them, put them higher above that water so that it will not be damaged in case water penetrates those walls. Then in the event of flood, do not drive through flooded roads, or do not drive through the floods. If the road if water has accumulated on that road, do not drive through it, because just 6 inches of that water is enough to slide the vehicle away from the road. Follow official warnings. Ensure that you are following your local authority daily environmental and weather monitoring reports, so that you know when the flood is going to come, and you'll be alert and you'll be prepared. Then disconnect all electrical powers before the flood, and if it's safe to do, where the area is flooded, disconnect from the main source, disconnect the electrical power so that people will not be electrocuted as a result of the flooded areas. Then after the flood, post-flood, ensure that you check the structural stability of the building or the location. Ensure that those places are still safe before people will go in. Be aware of electrical hazard. Even if the flood has finished, the environment is still very much wet. So any electrical cable, energized electrical cable in those environments would automatically lead to electrocution. So you should be aware of electrical hazard even after the flood has finished. Then ensure that the area is properly cleaned up and dried before people are allowed to go into those locations. So what are the role of health and safety professionals? How does this actually concern us, and what are the major roles expected of us to ensure that we prevent drowning and flood-related incidents in our workplaces? The first one is the risk assessment. It's part of our job to ensure that adequate, safe, and sufficient risk assessment is conducted in the workplace, and it includes flood prevention plans and how the actions that we must be taking in the event of a flood and to prevent drowning. We should ensure that policies, procedures are developed to accommodate areas that are prone to flood and areas that work activities that people are exposed to the risk of drowning. Another thing expected of us is to educate the workers on the hazards associated with working near the water bodies and the safe practices and the emergency procedures that is available in our workplace. This is our job to ensure that we educate our workers, even the management, even those who tends to know. We should always remind them that this activity is exposing you to flood and to water. This is what is expected of you, and this is the action you are supposed to take to prevent workers getting drowned. We should ensure that we provide equipment, ensure that all safety equipment are available. Life jackets, rescue gears, we should ensure that they are available, they are well maintained, they are well inspected by competent persons, and after use, they are properly stored. So this is part of what is expected of us. We should also be engaging in emergency planning, should be part of developing the emergency plan, emergency rescue plan. We should ensure that it's reviewed when the situations change, when there is an alert, or when there is change in workplace, when there is change in equipment. So we should ensure that the emergency plan is adequately reviewed and is up to date as per the workplace plan and workplace structure at that moment. Then we should promote positive safety culture, ensure that people are reporting incidents related to flood, ensure that we open the floor for people to give comment and participate in the review of these procedures and policies we have in place. Then we should collaborate with the emergency services, the government authority, ensure that we have adequate contact so that in event of these emergencies, we're able to contact them and we know the right thing to do. So this is what is expected of us and many more as health and safety professionals. Okay, so that is where I'll be rounding off my discussion or my presentation today. So I expect the others to share their view. And if you have witnessed or you have heard of related incidents related to drowning and water, then you can share with us. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah. Talking about drowning is a good one. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, talking about drowning is really, I've experienced one or two incidents that has happened in the past. But before my contribution, what happened to the persistent workers? That's people that pass through the persistent, not in the work area, outside this place, like the children. How are they? How are we going? How in all of this? How do we factor? How can we consider? How can they be protected? Since they are, no, it's not all about 80% of them are not aware of this. So how do we come? How can we reach them? How do we protect them in terms of this flooding?
Please, if it's related to our workplace, then I think adequate barrier will prevent them from accessing those flooded areas. Then
Yes. In our
outside our
workplace,
workplace, that is where we
yes.
say supervision. Supervision by parents, by guidance, and professionals in those water bodies. So supervision is something that cannot be overlooked because children can decide to take actions that could jeopardize their life. So supervision is more important.
Okay, because I remember some years ago, that was around 05 or so, it was raining. And a child of that boy should be around 6 to 7 years. As it was raining. He now don't know if he felt, but he fell inside a drainage. There was no barrier, nothing else. It was on the road, but the water wasn't moving anyway. But he could not come out because he's still a young boy, and he died. Yeah, he died. It was after the rain, the mother was not looking for him. It happened somewhere in Port Harcourt. The mother was not looking for him. After looking, calling, the mother was saying that, sir, it was raining and he just along the line now. I don't know. They now started looking, using stick, only for them to find out that the boy actually fell inside a an excavated area, and that was how he was found. So that was why I asked that question in the first place. These people, they are just there. They have not got. They are not opportune to work like
Supervision.
us. Yes,
There was poor supervision.
yes. So I was looking if the government can make an awareness in that area too. And in Nigeria, here, part of Nigeria, some of you find out that this underground drainage that is like it's a confined space, not that like a confined space. You find out that what they used to block that place, they will open it. What they used to protect the hole, the entrance, because it's a metal, you see these scavengers, all these most outside that they'll go and open it. The place is open, and if there is if anybody should fall inside, that place is deep. You can't swim it. So it's really a deep concern that think information, constant to sanitize the people around. Unlike the work area, of course, if you put such law, it's not going to, at least they will to be followed, at least to be followed up to 90%. They pass like this. So it's really a concern. We as professionals to make an impact in that area. Also in our homes, we educate our children, we educate our family, our wife, those around us, our churches where we worship, the mosque where we worship. In short, any environment you find yourself, I think we can pass the message so that we'll see how it goes. Of course, if you pass from one place to another, just like this one-to-one advert is going to be a good one in terms of this flooding. So that is my contribution in that area. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution, Mr. Austin. It's actually a big concern and everyone should be on it. And World Health Organization is taking the lead by allocating a day for it. Then we are doing our own part now, so we should also extend it beyond here, just like you have said. Thank you very much for your contribution. Mr. David, go ahead.
Good evening, all. You
Good
might be
evening.
hearing some noises because I'm still at work, but I have managed to join the session. Well,
Right.
I want to share my experience regarding this drowning prevention. I've been actually a victim, but I didn't drown, but I had my own fair share. So what happened was that when I was still based in Nigeria, Lagos, Lhasa precisely. Okay, so what happened was that we all went to bed that night. It was raining. Sometimes we say there's this 7 days rain non-stop. It happens, I think, once every year. This non-stop rain that happened for like 7 years, 7 days, thereabout. So we all went to bed on that fateful night, and it'd been raining, so everywhere was gradually getting filled up. So it so happened that the canal itself, due to the way the country and the government is monitoring the waste management, it so happened that the canal was a bit blocked. So all the whole waters could not flow through the canal, which now engulfed into the neighboring houses there, and it flooded virtually all of the houses in that vicinity. I happened to be living at the ground floor, the bungalow. So the water level went so high that it engulfs a major part of the building. And I was asleep anyway. I started hearing voices, people calling, mobile ringing, and then I woke up. My phone was already immersed in water because my bed was placed on the floor, the pattern we used those days. And then I noticed that virtually all the properties and part of the whole room was filled with water. Virtually half of the room was filled with water. So I managed to find my way out to then ascend to the fence for safety. So if not for the call of people, I wouldn't have responded to this emergency situation. And it will have resulted in drowning because I practically, as a person, don't know how to swim. So this is a wake up call. And also, if I shed light on something that happened here in the state of Qatar also, where a family also drowned because they were living in the basement part of the house. It was raining, and when they tried to open the door, all the waters filled up the room and they all drowned. This is a very sad event that happened here also. So it's a wake up call for us to be consciously aware. Sometimes these things we can't change, but there are things we can actually do. Like before you move into a neighborhood or an apartment, you need to monitor the lines, water lines, and see if there is proper drainage that can actually affect you in the event of continuous flow of water or flood. So when we know how the water drainage system actually works, we can actually know if we stand a chance when such scenarios occur for our own safety. So that's just my own piece of uh, of contribution regarding this matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. And thank you for sharing that insight with us. It's quite unfortunate, but we thank God you survived it. So it's a wake-up call for us and also a learning outcome for us. So do you have any other contribution? Okay. If there's no further contribution, we'll close for the day.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate your effort so far. Really do, irrespective of number, that the number is not encouraging, but we really appreciate. We are really encouraged by
No, don't look at the number. The message is not just for the number. The message is for everyone out there. Some people might not be chanced now, so they will take time to listen to us later. So
later, yeah. I really appreciate your effort so far, honestly. Though some people on time, like Mr. Francis is on time of he's in Nigeria.
yeah, he's on vacation.
Yeah, he's on vacation. Why Swangba Swangba is on training. He went for Bose training also.
Yeah.
So that's why. It has been raining, yes. Seriously. I think since yesterday.
The rain came back. I thought the rain has stopped.
No. It's raining. It has been raining since yesterday. Even this currently said the weather is bad. So,
all right.
no
So
problem.
thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. David, thank you for joining. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for today's presentation. It's a wonderful one. I've had several experiences walking near water, especially in jetty, during construction. We have some works that are done around the jetty area. However, the most important controls, you have already highlighted them,
already.
as the control measures that should be in place. So I think that was really exhaustive, covers all the major controls. So it's a good one. Well done. And thank you for the good work, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate. All right, guys. See you guys next week. Bye for now.